All right. Let's give this a minute and see if we are live. We're going live today, folks, so we can take a quick look at this market before I head out on vacation, so I can update you and let you know what my thoughts are on what could possibly happen here in the short term. Good morning, Tito420. Glad to have you here watching the live broadcast. We're going to have some fun today. And of course, if you don't know, this is Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro. Yay! And we are going to break down the Bitcoin chart, look and see if we can pluck off some clues to find out if there is going to be another capitulation event. And we will also talk about the news. There are a few things that have been happening in the news recently, and we'll discuss those things. In fact, I've got a note file saved with information that I wanted to cover from some of the things that I dug up in the news. And so while I'm looking for this, one thing that I will mention that a lot of people are not considering is the impact that the Tether FUD could still have on the market. Now, a lot of people think that it's water under the bridge and that the Tether FUD is no longer an issue, but that couldn't be the farthest thing from the truth. And I'll tell you why. The reason is, a year ago, the Canadian government had put a ban on Tether, and someone else did. I don't remember what other country it was. But this was all happening whenever the issue started to come up of whether or not they really had one-to-one backing for each one of the little Tether coins. South North is in the house. What is up, man? Glad to have you. Yay! So people started to dig in, and then Tether came back and said, well, we only have 30% USD that backs up the Tether coin, and the rest of it is what we call commercial paper. So some of you might say, well, what the heck is commercial paper? Well, what that is saying that we've got investments in various things that could be called collateral, so to say, that could be liquidated if need be, that would back up that Tether percentage of the Tether that is not backed up by the USD. And the problem is, when you're using paper, it's not immediately available. So let's say you have a run on Tether and they need those reserves. Well, you've only got 30% of the billions that you need to back it up because the other 70% is in holdings. It could be stocks, it could be bonds, real estate, various things. You name it. There's so many different investments that are not liquid that could be used to back up that Tether coin. Now, in the beginning, that's not what they said that the setup was going to be. In the beginning, it was supposed to be always one-to-one with the US dollar. And it wasn't until later on, until people started to dig and look in, when they found out that Tether was investing that money and putting it in commercial paper, when people started to wonder if they were running some type of pyramid scheme where they would print tons of Tether to allow the liquidity needed during periods of high demand for Bitcoin, and then get rid of that Tether on the other end. But then once we started to dip down, the printing didn't stop. And it kind of seems like to me that Tether has a shady little operation going on that's similar to the US government, where at least the US government admits that they're counterfeiting money, where Tether does not. Part of what makes me nervous about Tether is the amount of commercial paper that is tied up in the Evergrande fiasco. And they have ever so nicely swept that under the rug. Nobody knows. It's just swept under the rug. And it has not come up for a long time. But if they are ever called to the table and asked to expose their books. Now that the whole proof of funds is the big thing, that's the latest big thing. If they ever force them into showing proof of funds, we're going to have a big problem because they can't prove that they have that one-to-one backing. And they also won't be able to prove that the investments that they made, when they even admitted, let's say, it's okay, we're going to use the commercial paper. Well, they admitted that a year or two ago. Now, who's to say that the value of that commercial paper is the same today or higher than what it was 2 years ago when we uncovered that they were not backing the Tether tokens one-to-one with the dollar? Now, think about that a while. What if a couple billion was invested into Evergrande? What's the value of that commercial paper right now? And do they have more commercial paper to cover up for the items that are not performing? Well, all that to say, it's hanging out there as another potential black swan, as if we don't have enough black swans happening right now, because it looks like Genesis is probably going to go bankrupt. At first, they needed $1 billion, and then they scaled that back to $500 million, and we don't know if the Grayscale Trust is going to bail them out. They might just let it go bankrupt. Now, if that happens, we're going to sail down, and we'll look at the chart here in a second. We're going to sail down. We're definitely going to have a big, deep move down south on that chart if that happens. But right now, it seems like we have nothing but choppy side banding. We are once again in a boring period of side banding. So we had all this talk the last couple of weeks that Bitcoin's burning down, crypto's burning down, everything's going to the toilet. Everyone was saying that after the FTX deal, that there was going to be a lot of fallout, and we are very quickly going to go to the toilet. However, we do see right now that we're just hanging on and we're side banding. And so it's not like we went straight to the toilet. And now it's not just, say, everyone, thank you very much, South North, for the super thanks you to man. Oops, I didn't mean to hit the flush. Let me get out the other audio. I definitely don't want to flush South North. That's my man right there. I meant to say, let's see, there it is. South North, you the man? Yay! There we go. That's what I wanted to give you right there. High five, dude. I appreciate that. So where was I? So everybody's talking about the big toilet flush that is supposed to be happening. We're supposed to go to 9 or 10,000. Everyone is saying it, but then we're watching this chart just kind of hang around here, side banding, as we had a strong move back up to the point of control price in the visible range on the VPVR, which we will look at. Well, as a matter of fact, let's just shoot over real quick and look at the chart. Let me jump to the trading view. There we go. We have it right here. So now, looking at this chart, here's the point of control price at 16,830. So we had this, what I thought was a wedge formation. We broke down right before it, but then I've seen this in the past where we have a wedge that breaks out and then we come back to the point. We come back up to it. Now, I don't remember where that was way back when, but it happened. Maybe in reverse. We see here where it broke out to the top side before it came out, and then we just continued side banding. But this does not look very good, because then we rejected when we got back to this upper boundary of this triangle. And then I'll get into this. Look at that. What do you see right there? What is that? Boom. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's get back to the studio here and read the comments and then talk more about this news. Mario says, do events like these remove money that's out there? i.e., value drops, money is removed from the economy. Are you talking black swan events or disasters like FTX? I would say that the FTX fiasco does certainly remove money from the economy. You had $10 billion that was instantly sucked out of the system. money that didn't exist before, money that is shrinking during this time of quantitative tightening, right? And whenever you see a big bankruptcy like that happen, that's buying power that goes poof and is evaporated. So we cannot reinvest that money that scam bank run fried had scammed people out of. That money won't be invested in the stock market. It can't be put into crypto. It is gone. All right. Are you going for the Detective Comics 38 today? Well, I can answer that question very easily because I don't know what the Detective Comics 38 is. If it's not on VV, I can guarantee you I'm not going for it because I'm spread way too thin on my NFTs and I can't keep up with all of what I have. And I'm a VV whale and it's enough to keep up with that. All right. So anyway, back to the news events. Corruption. It's at an all-time high in U.S. government and in regulatory agencies. And it's sad to say that. We have corruption on the part of the administration and the collusion, the ongoing collusion with the Federal Reserve Bank. And we also have corruption within the ranks of our regulatory agencies, namely the SEC. So while the SEC is supposed to be protecting us from scams like Slam Bank Run Fried, like what happened with the collapse of Three Arrows Capital or with the Luna crash, while the SEC is supposed to keep us little guys safe and sound, they're off chasing Library and Ripple Labs. And not only are they off chasing Library and Ripple Labs and ignoring these things that cause us to lose money, they're colluding with the very company that ripped us all off. And so it's a very sad state of affairs, and it makes you wonder, well, how did we get here? Well, it's really not that surprising because in order to get into the high ranks of the U.S. government, you've got to be bought with a price. To win an election, you have to have campaign contributions. One big example is the 50 million or so that Slam Bunkman Fried had donated to the Biden campaign. And don't think that it's just the Democrats, because it's not, because Slam Blankman Fried's buddy, I forgot his name, had donated 24 million to the Republican Party. And that's why you have individuals like Gary Gensler chasing after Ripple Labs and Library while having meetings with Sam Bunkman Fried and giving FTX a pass where they don't have to abide by the same rules that are being enforced on everyone else. Where it looks like an inside job where FTX was wanting to be able to have free reign and a complete monopoly of domination in the world of cryptocurrency. Now, why would the SEC assist them to get that? Well, it's because the U.S. government and the big fat cats who control the money supply, they don't want to lose control of the riches and power of the world. And we often have said that cryptocurrency represents the biggest wealth transfer in the history of man. No, it's not, because those rich people and those fat cats are smarter than that. They're not going to sit and let it happen. And I think that it is the high-ranking government officials, the federal, the non-federal, Federal Reserve private bank, folks like that that are behind the paying off of these high-ranking officials in order to corner the crypto market and prevent the biggest wealth transfer in the history of man. All right. It's on Palm. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Starts in 10 minutes. So South North says the China real estate and banking system is still an issue. I agree. It is a major issue, and we're still sweeping that under the rug. It's hanging out there. Everybody thinks it's gone, and it hasn't gone anywhere. It has only gotten worse. And so, you combine that with the collusion with China and additional corruption that's going on within the ranks of the U.S. government. It's a sad situation. And, you can't really sit up at night and lose sleep and worry about things like that, because in order to be elected, you're going to be bought with a price. In order to have this representative republic, you're going to have corruption. It's just sad because I never saw it getting to this level, and I never envisioned that the fight against crypto would be this vehement. This is going to be a big, big, big fight. I'm going to have to post it in the description. I've got a series of videos that I've collected that will explain to you the banking system and how false it is, and how the banks in the United States create money every day. They create money out of thin air. They don't give loans out of reserves. They create new debts as long as they are meeting their reserve requirement. So while we have quantitative tightening going on, every day there's a new mortgage loan or a consumer loan that is given that creates new money out of thin air. So don't think that money is really drying up all that fast. But I have a series of videos that I can post in this description that takes you over to another blog site of mine called the Hustle Blueprint University. And it gives you the history of money and power and the change of hands over history as different fiat currencies take control. And you need to watch that and learn from it. And then that'll give you kind of a better idea, a better understanding of what we see going on right now, where we have a system that prints money that says Federal Reserve Note, where the institution printing that money is not federal, and where that note is not a reserve note because it doesn't reserve against anything. That's a holdover from the days when it was a reserve note to gold. But they left that on there. So it's a lie. It's a lie that it's federal, and it's a lie that it's a reserve note, but everyone falls for it. Okay, The Alchemist says, what are your perspectives of the VV-verse? From what I know, and I haven't paid much attention to it because I've been really busy, but just from the chat in the group, I think it's going to be a grand slam. I think it's very impressive, and I think that the VV company is living up to their tall promises. And it might take a while, but I think it's going to be worth the wait. And I think my collection, I'm approaching 2,000 items now with VV, but I think it's pretty safe. Orange says, you think RSR, reserve rights, is worth buying? What do you think? Well, let's just run over to the chart and look at it. I have not looked at or talked about RSR in so long. So I'm going to pull up RSR, and then I'm going to come back to the Bitcoin chart and finish the discussion about what I think is going to happen. So here's reserve rights. Good Lord, 0.00389. I mean, it's probably going to do good things like anything else. I mean, right now we see that we had the capitulation event, just like Bitcoin, this bouncing around where we had two good stochastic peaks, two half stochastic peaks with the decline continuing in price, and then a major stochastic peak right here where we're still printing lower highs. So we're probably going to go down further, but let's just look at the 1 week chart on this, and I'll scrunch this down. You can see this was my strike zone way back when. Good thing I didn't buy it at 2.7 cents, close to 3 cents. This is a nasty chart. Look at this diverging stochastic right there. The fast line is diverging away from the slow line, and you have a crossover, a bearish crossover coming with the lagging oscillators on the MACD, and the histogram is about to go into the red zone. So that's looking ugly, man. And there's no price history beyond this point of the 7th of September in 2020. So there's no volume nodes down here. We're in reverse price discovery where it's just going to keep going down. Now, I don't know what they are as far as fundamental aspects, but it looks like this is going to be a pretty good buy in the reverse as price is going down. Okay, so jumping back to Bitcoin, we see here that we rejected at the top of this line. And what I was alluding to before, let me put some drawing instruments on this screen here so I can draw. All right, here we are. Here's the rejection right there. Okay, and now we're printing that second red candle, okay, on the 4 hour. There it is right there happening as we fall away from the point of control price on the VPVR. That stands for volume profile visible range. And we also see this nasty crossover right here where the fast line, the blue one, has dipped over the slow one, the orange one, and it's headed south. So that's not a good indication. Let's circle this crossover. That's what I was alluding to before. And then the MACD here, it looks like we have gone from the solid green to the light green, which means we're declining and heading towards the zero line. And that blue line, oscillator line, looks like it's starting to curl over a little bit and head toward the red line or orange one. So that means bearish crossover. Now, the question that we will all have to ask is, what is Bitcoin going to do when we get back to this blue line here, which I need to correct? I don't know why that's looking like that. I'll have to fix that. This should be down here. If we blow this base here, goodbye. We're headed south. Now let's go to the 1 day. Turn off drawing mode real quick. First, we'll correct this line. That should be about. Let's put it right there. Let's put it right there. Okay, there we go. Now going to the 1 day. Look at that flag, guys. Do you see that? That's ugly. That's like a bear flag or bear pennant. Let me draw it on here so you can see it. There's a pole. And then here's your pennant. It could be like that. It could play out like that, okay? So we could bounce around a little bit more before the breakout. Because looking at this right here, that's a positive. You have a positive crossover of the fast line of the stochastic. We have a positive crossover about to happen here, and it looks like the MACD is about to bump into the green. But what you don't like to see is when you bump up into the green, the corresponding price movement is weak. So in other words, let's say we go all the way up here again, okay, and we peak out. But then price does something like this. That's bad, very bad. And if all you're getting for your return of this stochastic peak is another declining top, a declining high, lower high, then your momentum is headed downward, and it means that your bear flag is probably going to break to the downside and give you a nasty capitulation. Now let's measure it. Let's see what the possibility is. If, and it's not guaranteed, by the way, none of this is financial advice. I'm just talking, guys, all right? Don't hold me to any of this because I'm not like all the other fat mouths out there who swear they know what Bitcoin is going to do, and you know who they are. They think they can predict the market, and we've got the one that says, well, we got these golden zones and you never fall out of them. And after the 3-day cross bottoms and then blah, 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 then Bitcoin dives below that. Oh, well, now it's supposed to be a double bottom thing, golden zone, double bottom. Well, then we go below that. Oh, well, you see, the thing is, and it just continues on. I don't know what really is going to happen. And all I can say is to discuss the probabilities or possibilities and that I could be wrong. So as I say that, let me draw this in. I'll be the first to tell you I'm wrong because I'm just out here guessing, man. All right. Okay. Now let's pick this up. And theory tells us to take the flagpole and replace it. And you can see it right there. It sticks this Bitcoin price in the 11,000 range. It's very possible. It's very possible. Okay, let's clear that and turn off drawing mode. And let's come back to the studio here and just see what is happening. Let me fade over. Hello. Okay, wait a minute. We want this screen. There we go. All right. Oh, snap. Are you kidding me? South North, man, you are just going crazy today. Yay! Another super thanks of $5. You don't know how much I appreciate that because, man, I'm telling you what, I'm committing. I'm going to do more live streams and work for y'all, okay? Because the cost of this is killing me. As I'm paying $380 a month for the internet connection. I got like 40 a month for Envato Elements. I got 16 a month for TradingView. I got $12 a month for editing software. And it just goes on and on. There's like 10 or 15 things that I'm paying. And I thank you so much for that, for the help to defray those costs. And so as long as y'all are throwing me the super thanks, man, oh man, I will keep working. All right. Now, let's continue on with the questions. China and real estate banking system is still an issue. Oh, we covered that. Yeah. And then we talked about the VV-verse and we talked about RSR. What is your plan in the bear market? DCA or wait for another leg down? At this very moment, my man, I am waiting for the confirmation of this breakout. However, there are some items that I am buying. Now, you all probably can tell because of the gazillion videos that I've done. I'm really bullish on Caspa. I have about, 75,000 Caspa. I bought it at first, I think at 0.003 or 4. Then I turned around, I bought a big bag at 0.0015. Then I sold it all at 0.0045. Then I bought it back at 0.0062. Ended up with about 75,000, and I'd like to buy a lot more. And the only reason why I've been sitting here with the finger on the trigger with Caspa is because it does not seem to be mirroring the action of the overall market. Okay, I'm going to pull up the chart on Caspa. This thing is just, it's hard-headed. It's ridiculous. I'm hoping that we do get a correction on Caspa. I was thinking 0.005 is a possibility at this big volume node right here, or 0.004. And then also we have the 0.005, and then this node here at 0.053. And it looks like we're trying to break this ascending line here. And if we can just get underneath that and change the swing channel, maybe we can get some cheap Caspa. We do have a crossover here on the stochastic. And as you will notice, every one of these stochastic peaks coincides with a higher high. You take the peak, you look at the high point. Take the peak, look at the higher high. Take a small peak, flat high. Take the next peak, higher high. The next peak, lower high. Maybe a change in direction. I know Project Moon Gold, I listen to him sometimes. He was saying 0.003, which is possible. We got a node down here at 0.0028. So we're waiting and watching. And there are several things I would like to buy. I'd like to increase my bag of XRP, but I want it cheap. I want it at, 15, 20 cents. I'm taking chances. All right. Ethereum. I want Ethereum dirt cheap. I want Ethereum for $400. I want it to break that 750 level where everything blows up and comes unglued. I want to get Litecoin again at $40. And we see that Litecoin was just on a tear there. Matic, I'm sitting on 300 Matic. We have a nice crossover here and a rejection at the 50 EMA, which means it is coming down despite all the good news, which is great. And so I should be able to pick up more Matic. I should just start DCAing on Matic like right now because there's no guarantee that Bitcoin capitulates. We might be at the bottom. I'm not going to be like those people that say, oh, we definitely have to go down to 9,000 or 10,000. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll be mad, but we could be double bottoming. And so what's his face? Steve at Crypto University, he says that it's the double bottom thing now. Well, he could be right about that. Could be. We don't know. Solana, I don't trust, but look at that. Right here at the peak, nice lower high. Is Solana survive? Some people think it's not going to survive, but I might pick up a little and make it a gamble. Kadena, I want Kadena at like 40 cents. I'll show you why. I've got a nice little bag of Kadena. I first bought it at $1.89, but when you zip in this price history here, look at this thick volume down here, okay? Geez Louise, can it make some more bars there? I don't know why they're so fat. It's not acting right. But at any rate, I'd love to be able to pick up Kadena at 40 some odd cents. Flux, I need to be buying now. This is one that I might load up on now because looking at this chart, there's no guarantee that it hangs around at this price and doesn't start to bounce up. Very solid fundamental project. lowest possibility is right there, 18, 19 cents at this huge volume node sticking out right here. But I could DCA from here all the way down and wouldn't care. I've got like 500-600 flux, just a little bit. OMI, of course, is in negative price discovery. I'm going to be picking up more OMI. It is looking very bearish, still dropping. If we can get to point 0006, I think I'm going to start to grab my swing trading bag. I've got my $1.5 million that is set aside that I won't do anything with. Some other projects, look at Link. Link is looking very delicious, very tasty here. I could start picking up Link now. I mean, it's already low enough. I think I've got like a very small amount of Link. AMP, I've got a big bag. It's in my strike zone. I might double it down. CRO is surviving. I don't know about that. XPR, Proton. I love Proton. I should be buying it now. It can't get much lower. ACH, under a cent. Looking pretty good. GMEE under 1 cent. Gala Games well below the red dash line at 2.5 cents. Jasmy looking great at 0.00385. This is a gamble one. I might double my bag just to counteract the horrendous price that I bought it way back when. But onto some good projects. Ethereum name service at $12. That's pretty nice. I might stack up a few more. I've got maybe 10 of these. I've got maybe 15, 20 Filecoin. I'll add to a little bit of that. The Graph, I picked up 1,000 at 5 cents on the last big dip. You might pick up some more. Block, that's a gamble, but at 002, why not take a chance? So that's kind of to answer your question. That's, that's some of what I will be doing. All right, now let us get back over here. Where's my icon? Am I still on? Oh, yeah, there I am. All right, let's pop back over here to the studio, see what's happened. When you are rich, next bull run, are you going to forget about us? Man, we're going to be partying together. What you talking about? It's just going to be us, because here's the thing. I'm not going to be a BitBoy crypto and like all those people. Let's say I get like 100, 200,000 followers, which I don't think I will, because I'm not set up. I don't have the personality for that. I don't have the, we'll just say, I don't know if I can sell out to that. And so it might just be us. Okay, when I cash in the VV stash for $500,000, $1 million, and when I cash in the OMI bag for my wife's retirement, when it's over $1, when I cash in all these other big piles, when my Caspa takes me to the moon, it might just be us, man. It might be me, you, Carl. Oh, by the way, I need to mention 2 other super things from the last 2 videos, and that would be, hey, guess who it is, man? It was you again, South North, on the 15th of November with the super thanks of $10. Yay! Oh, actually, I need to change that. Hang on a second. Let me start over. Okay, so the 2 super thanks that I need to mention from previous videos were my man, South North, on November 15th with the super thanks of $10. There it is. And we had my man Carl on the same day, also with a super thanks of $10. All right. I thank you guys for that. Please continue your fantastic graciousness. I appreciate that. Now, if we don't have any other questions, how long have we been on now? I don't know. How long has it been? When did we start? It feels like it's been about a half hour, 45 minutes. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I needed to cover or mention, but I think we've gotten it all. We talked about the news, the events. We talked about corruption in the U.S. government and within the ranks of our regulators, which it's very sad. We talked about corruption within the monetary system and why we have to have a corrupt monetary system within this economic conundrum of quantitative tightening while banks are printing money. And while You know what? It's gotten so bad that there is even talk of a debt jubilee. If you don't know what that is, it comes from history, from the Jewish people, where every 100 years you had a debt jubilee where all debts were annihilated. All debts were forgiven. And you had celebration, food, dance, partying. Can you imagine the partying that would go on in the U.S. if we had a debt jubilee? There's some people saying that the only way we will avoid a depression is a debt jubilee. That's pretty sad. All right. You have a lot of knowledge that I would like to learn. You should sell programs. Keep on me. Funny you should mention that because, okay, I retired from the state of Missouri as an environmental engineer working for a regulatory agency. I had to retire because I worked for 29 years in the state that pays the lowest salaries to state employees in the United States. We're number 50. So I was broke. And with 4 kids, and the last one entering college, he's a freshman right now, as a matter of fact. But 3 years ago, I knew I had to retire and take my chances to try to get out into business and earn the money to be able to support the family. So I did. So I do engineering consulting and a bunch of other stuff. I have a body shop. I have a marketing business. I do all sorts of stuff. I'm a hustler. And I have a channel, another channel called The Hustle Blueprint. And South North, you need to subscribe to that. And then you need to beat me over the head because I've got like so many programs that I'm writing that I want to sell, coaching programs on how to do certain businesses, just business ideas to give you the framework and the structure for you to do the same. And I've always hesitated because I don't want to be looked upon as someone like Ty Lopez, where, you know, you just pay money, and he's making money by having people pay him money for knowledge. But I know that people do want to know what I've done, and I am willing to create an educational system to teach the things that I did myself. I have considered making a program of teaching the charts. Yes, to do it my way. I started in the stock market doing penny stocks back in 1999, right before the dot-com bust. And then I picked it up again in 2013 because every 13 years there is a cycle, all right, in the stock market and in the real estate market worldwide. And people don't know this. And I was hot dogging penny stocks making major gains. And that's why I learned how to do TA. And in 2017, I discovered one day that TA works on crypto. I don't know why I thought that it wouldn't. That was just silly of me. But that's when I started doing all the TA in crypto, when I jumped in head first and got back into the game. So I probably would be willing and open to jump in and do a program. I've had a lot of people that want me to do an educational program and teach in TA. And I would do it like my way, to teach you what I've done that made me get to the point where I am. And if anything, the biggest overarching thing that I would say, the overarching point in what I would teach is how not to lose your butt and how not to do stupid things. And the charts can, okay, it's one thing, it's hard enough to, you know, tell when breakouts are going to happen and when you can make money on swing trades, but it's another thing to know when not to buy because you're going to burn yourself. And I can teach that with crypto and also with the VV market because the NFTs within VV are chartable now, and the same thing applies. I will put the details in the subscriptions. Oh gosh, I'm losing my mind. Let me try something. Let's flip back over here and see if I don't know if this will actually show up or not. Let's just try it out. Okay. No, it doesn't show up. All right. But yes, I will put that information in the description. And great, man, that would be great. I would love to do that and provide that for you. And just stay on me because I need to just get over it and stop being, you know, I want people to learn from what I've done. And I know one thing is for sure. I pay for courses. I pay for software. In fact, I could do one course where I can just show you how you can get software for dirt cheap that you don't have to spend a fortune on, say, the Microsoft stuff or what's the other big, the Adobe Like there's a site out there where you can do the avatars, the animated avatars that actually speak your text, and they'll make videos and their mouth is moving. And the main company that sells this, you got to pay $49 per month for 15 minutes worth of video, right? So that's like $600 a year. And if you bump it up from there, it's prohibitive. I found a company where for $200 one-time payment, you can do 8 minutes per day. And so that's exponentially larger amount than 15 minutes per month. You can do 8 minutes of video per day, and they look just as good as this other company. But that's just an example. There's a lot of stuff that I use. Like I do all the graphics for this program. What you see right here, this is all done by myself. And I would like to put together a course that is a shortcut to show you what the software is that is out there that you can use where you're not spending a fortune, and then how you can put that to use in providing a service for companies that will pay you to do things like graphics, video rendering, all sorts of stuff. So I will leave that. Everybody can subscribe to my Hustle Blueprint on that note. And then we can kind of pick up the ball there, and I'll teach you as much free stuff as I can there, and then turn around and go above and beyond the call of duty and provide paid courses too. You don't want to watch YouTube videos with talking AI. Well, you might not want to. And there's a lot of people who want to create content, filler content to do that. And like when I don't feel like talking, I'd rather make an AI video. In fact, I'll post a link to one video that I made, an explainer video that talks about eicosanoids, eicosapentaenoic acids, and chronic inflammation, and what the eicosanoid hormones have to do with chronic inflammation. And this explainer video is useful by medical professionals. And with one business that I had years ago with my best friend Darren in the country of Japan, we made explainer videos that were being watched by medical professionals all over the world, where we were digging in and doing research, and we're not even doctors. And they found that information very valuable. But with the AI software, it doesn't matter if I'm talking or if there's an AI bot. I can take all of the blog posts that I've written and turn it into video content. And then that can give me traction with the blog. But see, it's just little ideas like that that people don't think about. I bet you haven't thought about that. You probably have not. But that's what I do day and night, is dig up ways to make money, not just with crypto. But crypto, of course, is just a great way that if you approach it in the right manner, very carefully, and watch your pace of jumping in head first, because you can get wrecked in crypto. You're going to lose money in crypto. You could make money from it. But I definitely want to help people to do that. All right. Well, I would love it. Hang on a second. We need to get the background that goes along with this. Here we go. I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. That's funny. And I will continue to provide you with as much top-rate content as I possibly can. And thank you to the 13 people that are listening, and do as Mr. or Mrs. Orange said, like this video, share this video. And the more you do, the more you ask, the more I will provide to you. Okay, with that, I think I do believe that is all I have for now. So stay tuned. And before long, we are going to know what is going to happen with Bitcoin. It's going to dive or it's going to hold, one thing or another. And I'll be right there to report all that action for you. That's all I've got, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And we're going to stream again very soon. We'll see you next time. This is Carlton, and I am out.